Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me, and I just drank a nice cold beverage. Not a sponsor. We get no free publicity around here. If you want to sponsor that... We're here to talk about the playoff bracket today. The NFL playoff bracket is completely set, and I am excited because I don't know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of this year. There has been a overwhelming presence of repeated teams in the past few, maybe half decade in the NFL, and it's made the playoffs almost predictable. And when things are predictable, they are boring. And so today and beyond, I am excited because I have no idea what to expect. And that's the beauty of it. So we're going to walk through this playoff bracket. I'm going to break down each game. I'm going to give you what I think are the best possible selections. Understand that this is not advice in any way financial related. I would not go betting $1 on any of these picks. These are just me breaking down certain things. If you are interested in doing any sports wagering, I have another channel. It's called Green Means Go Sports, and that is where I do a lot of that conversation. I want this channel to be more relaxed, more for the casual sports fan that doesn't want to be inundated with the overwhelming presence of gambling that is taking over our sports leagues and teams. So if you do not mind subscribing to this channel, that will help this channel grow, eventually be monetized, and I can give more content and more attention to this one because I do this full time. So I spend a lot of my time over on Green Means Go Sports, but as this channel grows, I will do things over here. Let's start with the Rams and the Panthers. These teams saw each other about a month ago, and I know I said I wasn't going to talk gambling, and I'm not, but I'm going to give you some things that reference gambling. The Panthers in that game, I remember, were 10.5-point underdogs. The Rams were suspected to win by double digits, and the Panthers won outright. I do not believe that you will see that again. This Rams team will be motivated. This Rams team will be familiar with going over there. It will not be an early 1 o'clock game on the East Coast, which can be a problem for West Coast teams. This one will be played in a more reasonable situation. And with that being said, I think this is one of the easier games to pick. This one and that Houston Steelers game are probably the easiest games for me to pick and feel confident about. So I'm going with the Rams. I think the Rams' role in Carolina, I do not believe it's particularly close, and I think it's one of the more boring wildcard games that we see. San Francisco and Philadelphia should be the opposite. This one I've gone back and forth on, and I'm going to listen to my gut more so than my brain. My brain says that the Eagles are the stronger team. My gut says that top to bottom, San Francisco has been more tested. They have been more resilient. And although they have had injuries, which has plagued this team, they have found ways to win left, right, and center. I believe San Francisco goes to Philadelphia and beats up on the Eagles. And by that, I mean wins by 4. I think San Francisco tames what little offense this team in Philadelphia has had this season. They've been very inconsistent. Saquon Barkley goes from a potential MVP, potential league-setting, record-setting rusher to almost irrelevant. Saquon Barkley was borderline irrelevant this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do you remember about Saquon Barkley? How many 100-yard games did Saquon Barkley have? How many touchdowns did he have? Did you draft him in your fantasy team? Are you entitled to compensation from Saquon Barkley's pathetic performance? I think we all are, a little bit. And for that reason, I like San Francisco to win on the road. Green Bay and Chicago is another one that is difficult. And I say that because these are foes of the same division. These are teams that are familiar with each other. And when that happens, it is so hard to predict because finding an angle, finding an edge, finding a matchup is just tricky when these teams are so aware of what the other team wants to do. They split the series. They played twice. Both of these games were late in the year. The Bears won at home and the Packers won at home. And so while you may look at this and say, well, should we just go with the home team? Should we just go with Ben Johnson? Ben Johnson seems like a narcissist. I don't know why. I don't know if that's judgmental. It's probably judgmental. I watch Ben Johnson like on the sidelines and in interviews, and he reminds me of the people in my life that are narcissists. And it's like, oh, Ben Johnson's a narcissist, isn't he? With that being said, I'm going to go, although Matt LaFleur may be a narcissist too, so kind of tricky. Maybe this is the narcissist bowl, the little narcissist battle in the the North, the NFC North Narcissist Bowl, otherwise known as the Triple N. Give me the Pack. Go Pack, go. It's what I feel. I think they're rested. I think that's the key here. They had sort of a bye week last week. None of their starters played. They were already locked into the 7th seed. They didn't really have to try. So I think that plays in their favor in this one. The late bye, give me the Packers. Over to the AFC. Houston and the Steelers, I said, was the second easiest game outside of the Rams. And with that, I'm not going to bore you. I think the defense of Houston is the difference in this one. Pittsburgh struggles offensively, and I think if they can contain Aaron Rodgers, they can pressure Aaron Rodgers, they can give him different looks, which is what they're going to do, they should have no problem winning this game. I do worry a little bit about Houston's offense in the entirety of these playoffs. I just don't think it's going to be a problem against the Steelers. Buffalo and Jacksonville. I honestly think, and this is a hot take, let me get the full screen on for the hot take here, okay? Buffalo and Jacksonville are the top two teams in the AFC. I said it. I think Buffalo could beat any of these teams except Jacksonville. Jacksonville scares me the most. Out of all of these teams, Jacksonville scares me the most. I think Jacksonville is going to struggle with the moment. This is an intangible breakdown. I believe Jacksonville will have the biggest trouble in the moment that will be too big for them. Contrast that with Josh Allen. Contrast that with the Bills team that has been here, that has done that can look at this playoffs and say, wow, the Chiefs are no longer standing in our way. We have, the most experience by far and away of any of these teams on our side of the bracket. And I believe that key piece will be what propels Buffalo. Josh Allen, the playmaker that he is, he's been here. He's used to this. So give me the Bills in a tough game. I believe if Jacksonville was not facing Buffalo, I think Jacksonville is beating the other four teams. Now, the Chargers have been very quiet recently. They've battled some injuries. They have had just kind of an unassuming last few months. I haven't really paid much attention to them, if I'm being perfectly honest. The Patriots have had complaints about easy schedules, and by that I mean like the media is complaining that they've had an easy schedule, calling them overrated, but they did beat the Bills. They've had big games in big moments. So I think this is one of the other more fascinating games of this week. I would say that this one is another one that's hard to predict. This one's hard to predict. These are my top two most difficult. I think this one's going to be a good game, and I think this one's going to be a good game, but I have stronger leans about Packers and Bills. And then I think we have kind of two duds that are pretty obvious. So, I think you get it's like what's it called? Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Really, you got a porridge that's very predictable. You got porridge that's super entertaining, and you got porridge that should be entertaining and predictable. Call me Goldilocks. I'm out here locking up these picks. All that to say, Mike Vrabel is the difference in this one over Harbaugh. I think the East Coast, the home field advantage helps New England. I think the temperatures help New England. And I'll take the Patriots to face Houston. Going back over to the NFC, Packers and Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks have played both of these two teams. Obviously, this is the NFC West division plus the Packers. I believe that Jordan Love will have trouble with this defense. Josh Jacobs has not proven that he has what it takes in this offense to be a threat, and I think that Seattle will be able to overwhelm Josh Jacobs, will be able to overwhelm Jordan Love, and Seattle will move on to the NFC Championship game. LA and San Francisco is a phenomenal game. We've seen it twice this year. They split. When San Francisco won, they did not have Brock Purdy. Mac Jones actually beat the Rams, which is crazy to think about. And this one would be played at the Rams Stadium. And I think this is pretty cut and dry. They both split in the regular season. I think the Rams roll here. I think the Rams are a very strong team. And I don't have much to say, except I think they overpower San Francisco. So give me the Rams to face the Seahawks in the NFC Championship game. Bills and Broncos is easier than those numbers suggest. You may look at that and say, wow, 1 versus 6. This one's pretty obvious. It's not. I'm going to take the Bills on the same sentiments that I took them in round 1. Seasoned, experienced, ready. I think the moment will be too big for the Broncos. I think the bye week could actually hurt the Broncos, and in a way that I don't think Seattle will be hurt by it. The Broncos offense, I don't believe has as many playmakers. I don't believe is as polished, is as dynamic as some of these other offenses. I think that's the difference in this one. Give me the Bills to upset on the road. And then we have the Patriots and the Texans. This one's pretty easy. I think this is where the Texans finally lose some mojo offensively. That's my biggest worry for this team. I get that they have playmakers. I get that they have weapons, but we have seen the Texans at times struggle and then really rely on their defense. The Patriots have been rolling offensively. I think the Patriots will do enough offensively to make this game unattainable, unreachable, impossible even for the Houston Texans. So give me the Patriots. Now, for the conference championships, we have divisional rivalries, which is pretty cool for my bracket. Hopefully we get that in real life. Seattle in the West, LA in the West, Buffalo in the East, New England in the East, and the Seahawks and the Rams also split this year. Seahawks winning at home, Rams winning at home. The Rams did win at home by 3 or 4, I think, and Sam Darnold had 3 interceptions. So you look at that game and you say, if Sam Darnold gets his act together, throws maybe 1 less interception, we're talking about a different outcome. Seattle does host, which they did win at home. The place will be rocking. If this is the matchup, guys, you have no idea. I mean, the place will be rocking. But I fear Sam Darnold. I fear that Sam Darnold has cemented himself as a system quarterback who can do what is asked when it's laid out for him in black and white. And I fear that we might get some shades of gray, blue, red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, and violet in this one. And I think that's the difference maker. I don't know if the Rams win this game, but I think Sam Darnold loses this game. And again, this is coming from a Seahawks fan who understands the tendencies, the dynamics, the pressures that are on not only the Hawks, but on a 12th man like myself. And so I'm going to acknowledge that there are weaknesses. And that weakness is potentially Sam Darnold in this matchup. So give me the Rams to head to the Super Bowl. Buffalo and New England, I don't believe is as close as it may be suggested. Buffalo will be playing on the road. They'll be used to it. They've had to do it the entirety of their playoffs. And this is not Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce. This is Mike Vrabel and Drake May. I think they win it. Give me the Bills. Your Super Bowl matchup, according to me, right now, is the Rams and the Bills. This will be played in California in the 49ers Stadium, which is an interesting piece. No team has ever had a home game for their Super Bowl. San Francisco has that opportunity today. I think it's time for Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl. And I think this is an underrated team coming into this postseason. They have been not without blemish. They've had struggles often, but I believe those struggles are polishing the eventual Lombardi trophy that they will hoist in February. Let me know in the comments who you believe takes it all. Let me know your matchup if you'd like. If that's easier, just drop your matchup in there. You don't need to fill all of this out. But let me know something. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Go check out my other channels if you feel called. I love you, and we'll see you next time.